to this training, Conducting Impactful Zoom Meetings. I've had a lot of people reach out and ask how to be better presenters, how to conduct Zoom meetings in a better way. I know that now that we're dealing with this pandemic and many of us are working remotely, this is a skill that people are beginning to realize is something that you must develop. So I created this training for those of you who may be wondering how to be a better presenter when you are conducting Zoom meetings. So let's get into it. Change your perspective. What are some of the challenges some of you have faced with meetings virtually? I gotta tell you, at first when we started doing this, it felt awkward. My perspective was, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this as well as I used to because I'm not physically present. I felt this uncomfortable and I felt a lot of discomfort when I was dealing just with the camera. But I want you to know that the first step that you gotta do is change your perspective. Stop comparing this to when you used to run meetings physically. It is not the same thing at all. It's just different. It's a different avenue, but it's still effective in many ways. You will have access to different tools that you might not have access to when you were doing meetings physically. So change your perspective and get excited about it, all right? Because the truth is this, there are no problems with doing meetings virtually. There's only opportunity. Is just an opportunity for you to explore a new way how to deliver the information, how to deliver and develop your skills as a presenter and as somebody who runs meetings. We must learn a different way of doing it. This is here to stay. I think that many of us, as we go through new employment in different places, you're going to encounter this as part of maybe the work that you're going to have to do for future employers if you have your job. And if you have your business, as I do, then you're still going to have to develop this skill because you can have people all over the world who you train. And having the skill to present through Zoom or any kind of virtual form is something that is here to stay. So change your perspective. That is number one. Remember, whatever you focus on will grow. So if you let go of the perspective of keeping comparing this to a physical meeting, you're going to always have this tension and this pull and push type of tug of war within you. Let go of that. This is just different and you got to embrace it. Having said that, follow Einstein's advice. Energy cannot be destroyed or recreated. It only changes form. Just know that your energy as a presenter will still be felt when you do Zoom meetings. You gotta make sure that you are animated, that you still transfer that energy as you are conducting the meeting. Don't allow the fact that you are by yourself in front of a camera curtail that energy. You got to bring it out and transfer it and exchange it with your audience, much like you used to do when you were physically present. But I would argue that doing it through Zoom requires you to turn it up maybe 40% or 30% more than you usually would have, because you gotta make sure that it gets across the screen, across the camera to the people who are watching you on the other side. It's a little bit different than being physically present, obviously, but that's why you gotta be cognizant to turn on your energy, at least I would say 30 to 40% more than what you usually did. Who was the source of energy at your meetings before? It was you. That doesn't change. Don't relinquish that position. Don't relinquish that responsibility. It is your responsibility to be the source of the energy. That meeting will be as hot as you want it or as cold as you want it. You are the thermostat in that meeting, whether you are physically or virtually. So remember that and act accordingly. In a virtual world, it is a must for you to deliver an engaging meeting so that your audience remains involved. This is so important. Everybody's having Zoom meetings day and night. Zoom here, Zoom there, Zoom, 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 right? Like the Mazda commercial. You gotta make sure that your Zoom meeting is better than the rest. Don't just fall into the usual, hello everybody, here we are another Zoom meeting and everybody is dying. You gotta make it better, more engaging. And these are some of the ways that you can do it. Number one, be the source. As I said, Remember, don't just allow this to be another Zoom meeting. Try to do things that separate this meeting from the rest of all the Zoom meetings that the people have attended. Create an experience. Use music. Get a microphone, that you can attach to your computer, and then get a little portable speaker and play some music before the meeting. Music is such a great energy for people to, start moving around, maybe start feeling their physiology changing, and it helps them relax. Play some kind of music that you think people will like, something that may appeal to the age bracket of the audience that you're talking to. Music is so important. People don't do that in a lot of Zoom meetings, so it's boring to sit there and wait. Use music at the beginning of it. Welcome them as they come into the meeting room. As you see the names popping in, just say, hey, welcome. How are you, Jose? Welcome. How are you? How are you, Rachel? How's your day going, Jose? How's your day going, Rachel? Just welcome them, and they feel like they are almost coming into the room physically. Make it an experience. Make inspirational statements about the topic or ask questions about their day, right? Hey, tell me, Jose, what is the highlight of your day so far? Put it on the chat. Engage them. Ask them about their day. Ask them about their highlights. Ask them, what is the best thing that you saw today? What is the best thing that you did today? What is your goal for this week? You see what I mean? Engage them in some kind of conversation. People appreciate that. Imagine that. There's music in the background going on, some music that maybe everybody likes. Then you're engaging them in conversation through the chat. It's a whole different experience already. Better than the last Zoom that they attended. Also, come across live and direct. Make sure your voice is loud and clear and energetic. You gotta make up for the fact that you are just on screen. But if you are cognizant of that and really unleash your volume, unleash your energy, people will feel you on the other side of the camera. You gotta remember that. And you have to be very cognizant to look at the camera constantly, okay? Right at the lens, and be able to develop and deliver a performance as you speak. Let go of the embarrassment of how do I look? What are they thinking? You got to come with it. And when you come across in the computer camera with that energy, they will be engaged, and it'll continue to be a better experience than the last Zoom they went with that other person that almost made them fall asleep. Body language and gestures are a must. When it comes to public speaking, when you do it physically, 80% of communication is body language. But people can get to see how you walk, your posture, etc. On Zoom, doing meetings virtually, whatever you do from the waist up becomes extremely important. That means your facial expressions, your smiles, your gestures with your arms, all that becomes twice as important. Practice before you do your meetings to see how you look in the frame of your computer, and move your arms around so that you can see the parameters that you have to move around. I even go as far as practicing how to take a step to the right, how to take a step to the left, so that it looks like I'm actually moving on stage, but I'm just really moving a couple of inches to the right or to the left. But that gives them an impression that I'm physically present. This is already another way to make you more powerful when you deliver the meeting. And you gotta be cognizant of that. Stand up so you can increase your energy. Don't ever run a meeting from a sitting position unless you want your audience to fall asleep. If you wanted to fall asleep, by all means, take a seat. But if you're serious about engaging them, keeping the energy in the room, making sure that you use your gestures and move your body and exchange that energy, you gotta stand up. Right now, doing this video, guess what? I'm standing up. I cannot be sitting down, not if I'm going to exchange my energy with you. So don't ever do it from a sitting down position. Stand up, make sure that you have a physiology that is congruent with the energetic delivery that you intend to have. So I want you to try that. I want you to really try it. Introduce yourself in an energetic manner. Do it from a sitting down position. And then introduce yourself from a standing position and tell me what the difference is. How does it feel? What you will feel is that when you're sitting down, it takes extra effort to get the energy going, get the gestures going. But if you stand up, it's easier to get your body's physiology to work together cohesively for you to deliver a powerful message. So try that if you don't believe me, okay? Also, that technology advantage, this is what I was saying to you. You are going to have access to some things that you didn't have access to before. You can have a great introduction and outros in your meeting. You can have videos that you use to come in at the beginning of the meeting, maybe a clip from a movie, or maybe on your outro in the meeting. You can use different types of media and video clips to use as you start your meeting and as you finish them to inspire them or to generate some kind of emotion. Use videos or pictures to generate discussions related to your topic. A lot of times you can go and get quotes and maybe readings of an article, whatever the case may be, something that relates to your topic, and you can put it on the screen and then generate a very useful and a great discussion from your audience. So obviously you gotta plan all this ahead of time, but being that we are in a virtual world, all these are key elements that will make your meeting more engaging and separate you from the rest of the array of Zoom meetings that people are having to do. Mentoring is actually another great thing to do here. If you're somebody running leadership teams and you're trying to develop other leaders around you, create roles for more leaders' involvement. This is very, very good to do that, okay? Create roles that allow technology savvy folks to contribute. On Zoom, for example, you can say, hey, you know what, Jane, I was wondering, will you be able to monitor the chat as we're going through the meeting? And as we have some questions, maybe just flag them for me so that we can have a section to answer the questions. Oh yeah, now you can get her involved doing that. Maybe you have somebody else who can help you download the links that you need during the meeting. And you can get them involved. You remember that when it comes to leadership development, it's all about creating roles for people to become more relevant in the world around them. And these little baby steps of helping you in a meeting helps them feel that they are actively contributing. And later on, you can make the transition for them to run their own meeting. You can also create an introduction script for your meeting, for example. There are a lot of rules that apply in virtual meetings that do not apply when we're physically. For example, keep no war stories, be positive and solution oriented, mute yourself so that there's no background noise coming across. Take notes, because once we do this meeting, you're gonna forget what we're saying, so make sure that you take notes. You can develop something like this, a script that you can later tell one of your team members to deliver at the beginning of the meeting. You see, that's another way to create another role for them to get involved and build their confidence speaking to an audience. According to research, people are really scared of death, but they are also scared of doing what publicly? Speaking in public. So what you will find that through the virtual world, it's easier for you and I to mentor some of our team members to become more confident to speak to an audience. Because frankly, even though you and I are discussing how to be more energetic, transfer the energy, look at the camera directly, right? For them, it's easier to speak because they don't see people in front of them. So they really feel like, oh, I could do this. And they go ahead and do it. They may not be impactful speakers at this moment, but what the key is for you to create a role for them to become more comfortable speaking to an audience, even if it's just virtually, because later on, when we go back to physical meetings, it'll be easier for you to help them transition to speak in front of an audience. It'll take some coaching, obviously, to make the final transition, but creating this role for them to speak, deliver that introduction script that I was sharing with you is a great way to mentor them to begin developing the skill to be a more confident, impactful speaker. So encourage your leaders to run a team development meeting besides your own meetings. If you are developing your team, as I was mentioning, encourage them to have their own meeting. Give them a little topic, a little homework that you want them to cover with their team. And that way they can also practice. And then you can sit down with them and actually coach them on all these different tips that I just shared with you so that they can go into their meeting and become a more impactful speaker, developing their skill to speak in front of a camera, understanding that their level of energy, their preparation, creating roles, using technology, and all that is not a problem, but rather a opportunity. I hope that this was useful. See you at the top where the champions belong.